here to try and round out the series for Cloud9 Academy. Certainly some changes. I think Blabber, once again, on a damage-heavy jungler, will need to overperform in this game.
Yeah, I think that he has much better tools to do that with this time around, though. Kumo is comfortable on the Aatrox. It's been banned 3 times in a row. Now you've got the Gallia that's going to help you with the roam significantly, and it should mean that Cloud9 engages more often than we've seen before, and the games have just been back and forth, battle, 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 so whoever has the first jump to these fights typically wins.
Yeah, I think, again, team cohesion and ability to act first has been a big thing in a lot of the exchanges we've had so far. The coaches will shake hands for potentially the final time. The TSM Academy only need one more game to snatch the trophy away from Cloud9.
That's definitely what they're thinking. Like, this better not be the last time I shake your hand. We're going to game 5, man.
Well, TSM in high spirits, understandably so. Cloud9 a little more reserved, but does feel like the two teams evenly matched, finished close to each other at the end of the season. We're kind of destined to play in the finals as the top 2 seeds. Treats are still smiling. He might have to keep it up because, by all accounts, it will be a long series.
Well, at the moment, Treats is my player of the match, so I cannot wait for us to get a side report with him, see what he's got to say on this match, because I want to know what he does to keep a smile.
He's a man of few words and much action crumbs, if you saw from the hooks that he landed. Now on Tarik, going to be a little different, but still plenty of opportunities to make the plays. Also Keith, another different carry this time around. Big playmaking shoes kind of in his hands as well. Kaiser is one of few ADs that feels like she has so much control over how the game goes. That also means when you mess up, it goes very wrong.
Yeah, and then you're to blame.
Well,
so don't mess up. That's that. It's that easy.
There you go. It's just that easy. Just be better. Be good. The classic Korean advice. Just be better.
Just don't die, man. Just don't die.
Now, Cloud9 maybe thinking about an invade here, but TSM has sniffed it out already. Treats lining up the stun, but Blabber does dodge it.
A little cheeky positioning out of Treats, seeing if you can get anybody to face check early in the game, but they're not going to be able to do much of it. The Talia is really strong, level 1, being able to poke you out and just push you back and establish some dominance in that lane. But to commit to this and try to get a red buff start, it's too greedy. The Rumble at level 1 is not someone you want to mess with. That Flame Spitter can do work.
Yeah, and you can see Greg just playing back. Cloud9 do have a bit of vision. They put down the Ghost Porro, and a Trinket Ward for each side has been placed down. Looks like junglers will be starting on the same side of the map. Blabber pretty much needs blue to really fly through this jungle, so we'll get some help from Kumo as well.
And this champion is kind of an X factor, to be honest. In the jungle, the Talia, not only are you really counting on your own mechanics, but you need to find so many creative opportunities for a gank that you just don't know what to expect. It's not very common, and I can't imagine the TSM Academy has a lot of practice against it because it's not up there in the champions that are meta right.
I mean, it was at one point, and it was an absolute terror.
Yeah, it was.
It was meta, but
not anymore.
No, and clearly Blabber, who's received multiple bans already in the postseason, is comfortable on the champion. Now with the opportunity to take it, clearly something that feels he needs to just get his team across the line into that game 5. You have to be thinking just about this game here for Cloud9. Cannot think what happens in game 5 if we lose, what happens if it starts getting shaky. Just have to focus on right now. Has Bubble as well. Golden Glue already off to a good start. Does get the auto down for a bit of damage, but doesn't quite get the sparkles to proc.
So it's an interesting route out of Blabber. He goes blue, bottom crab, and presumably he's going to jungle his way back up to the top side, and that should mean that by the time he gets up there, Aatrox has level 3, he has all his abilities unlocked, and the gank becomes a lot easier for him. But instead, he's now pinging the blue side, and it looks like he's going to go for an invade. No red buff necessary when you're playing these long-range jungle mages. You're not planning on auto-attacking anybody, you just throw rocks at them.
Once again, Keith and Diamond also pushing up in their lanes, so that consistent lane priority has given Blabber a really strong side of the map to play to all series long, and that will be a buff steal away from Greg, who is on the other side, but is not able to receive a blue buff because Blabber took it already. So he's going to get what camps he can, but will lose a major buff here.
But that does mean that Blabber does not find more XP in the blue side of TSM Academy's jungle. He's now left. Gromp is up, Wolves are up, and that means Grig gets a little bit of an advantage, frankly. He's already cleared more camps than Blabber has.
He also had only a little wolf left in that camp as well, so Grig left that one there. Blabber actually wastes a little bit of time, but Talia is pretty fast through the jungle, so we'll get down these Raptors. Not too many problems. Grig, though, is already back out on the map with 2 longswords, so if Blabber just wants to play for a bit more farm, he'll get the advantage eventually from taking that buff, but right now Grig kind of with a bit of tempo.
Let's see what he makes out of that, because those 2 control wards will come in really handy as well in getting a strong supportive vision before Blabber gets to base. So you essentially establish the vision before any wards are placed on the map, and if you get lucky, your control wards stay out for a really long time, and that pays dividends.
See, the jungle is clear, so Blabber gonna go back, upgrades to the Chilling Smite, grabs a control ward of his own. Now junglers will just wait for camps to respawn as Golden Glue here in mid. Smacks down the cannon. Looks like Lissandra's getting that push going, as both mid laners are actually running pretty low on mana.
And the wave pushed up to the top side. Rex says not going to bother with this. It's too big for them to go for a gank here, and I like what Kumo is doing. He's not going to necessarily greed out. Found a blaze.
Electrocute procs. Talia can be so punishing when you face check. Golden Glue chasing in, but no need to go too far.
That's going to get so dangerous every level she gets from now on. That's essentially, it's a mid laner ganking you. It's one thing that a jungler's there, but a mid laner goes to your lane, that's a different story.
So Crab given over. Good sleep there from Golden Glue, gets the damage back. Blaze Olive does have his TP. Won't use it just yet as Kumo and Brandini still fighting it out, but Kumo finding those sweet spots does win the early exchange.
So I really want to see Blabber make his way to the top side of the map, because Aatrox is going to be great in setting up a kill against the Rumble. All it takes is him to overheat one time. You're caught out of position, and suddenly that Aatrox is snowballing onto you. Right now, he is struggling because of the early power that Rumble brings to the table, but with jungle pressure, that can easily be fixed.
Golden Glue has to contend with these next few minions. Does hit 6, but Blaze Olive actually just walking back right now. Might be waiting on Golden, then TPing, but does burn it. Golden Glue is going to be pretty late to find this base. In fact, might have to stay, as Lissandra with a fresh mana pool can just push all these waves back out. But Golden Glue is running so low on mana that his timing worked out pretty well.
Yeah, at least gets to push the wave a little bit, so he may not miss a whole lot. And worst case scenario, Talia can always cover for him.
Looks like Blaze Olive actually trying to set up a freeze, perhaps. There's a similar situation down here in bot side. Already 10 CS up for Keith. Looks like the first recalls have happened. It's Bilgewater versus BF, but C9's bottom lane just trying to deny what they can.
A freeze at level 6 isn't necessarily a bad thing, because you have that ultimate that allows you to set up a gank so easily. And because of the previous ward that Grig got on the left side of the map, he does have an easy way into mid lane. So if they want to commit to try to take down Golden Glue, they do have the tools to do so. I think that Grig may need to be level 6. I doubt it, but if he wants to be really sure that they lock down Zoe, having that ultimate is going to be a big deal. He's not freezing the wave, though. He's just holding it there for a little bit, and now he's going to push back, because as Lissandra, either you freeze and gank your lane, or you just go roam and kill someone else.
Yep, time to bounce the wave. Golden Glue picks up the blue, but now has to contend with the farm that Blaze Olive is pushed back to him. That does mean bottom lane is under threat, so looks like Keith and Diamond will roam across to try and get some vision down, but now that Blaze Olive's back in lane, Golden Glue says welcome back and hits him with the paddle star.
And look at the pink ward that was placed in the mid lane for Golden Glue. That lets him use the range that Zoe has to make sure that Lissandra does not get in there. And they were thinking about this gank, but the really good Sleepy Trouble Bubble keeps a Blaze Olive from following through, and consequently, I don't even know if that's a real word, it stops Rek'Sai from going in and killing him. He saved his life.
Also had bot lane roaming up, so TSM can't really make the play. In fact, Blabber with his wall ready is staying aggressive in the jungle. They do spot Grig, sweeping out that control ward. But it's been a pretty subdued start to this game as junglers just trying to feel each other out. Grig does get knocked back. Blabber procs electrocute. Grig already down to half health, and Blabber might just continue the invade pattern here.
Yeah, more blue buffs from the side of Cloud9. When you have these two mages, it's going to be a really big deal. Bot lane has been pushed in, and with the control ward in the river bot side, it means that TSM's bottom lane has a short path to get back in. Let's see if the top laners can go in here, because Brandini has TP. He's going in.
Yeah, they are. Oh, what a good stun from Treats. That's first blood. Blabber dead. As Rek'Sai able to get the kill, now the equalizer down to place. Olive finds the ulti and locks up another. That's going to be a kill onto Keith. No, he ult and flashes out of the way, but Diamond is not so lucky. Grig with a double kill turns that play around.
And that is the danger that you face when your top laner does not have TP and the other one does. You fight in the bottom lane expecting a 4v4. Brandini says, nuh-uh. I'm gonna help my team out. I'm Rumble. I just hit a huge power spike with my Sorcerer shoes, and he just comes down there and melts. It was a really strong engage out of the Taric. And now TSM has the advantage in the early game with the early game comp. Let's see how this went down. So Treats gets to go in. He has a control ward, and this is just a really nice flash stun. You get the squishy member. Now that the taunt and heal is down and the Rumble TPs, there's nothing that C9 can do. They don't get to fully commit for the Kai'Sa. No one wants to flash over, so they're happy with it. You just take the 2 kills that you can get your dragon, and get your blue buff.
Yeah, I mean, Kuma got 2 plates, so a good amount of gold for him in a lane that he was already winning, but kind of doesn't matter right now. TSM Academy now up almost 1,000 gold. Looking to stymie the early game that Cloud9 looked to have.
They didn't take the dragon, so that is still an objective that can be fought over, and Cloud9 Academy will have the TP available. So if they want to be back into this game, they could try the same thing and look for TSM to overstep for a fight bottom lane, and then you just TP your Aatrox down there and secure that kill.
See if the lane changes here. Keith and Diamond still holding firm as Blabber over on the Scuttle Crab here is going to just flip that one over and take it down without too much trouble. Grig will spot him. Smite early, but last auto attack's enough. Grig not there to punish.
Let's see what Blabber does. Now that he has his wall up, does he choose to engage with wall? He's now surfing his way up top. They're going to probably need Rumble to really overextend here. This is not going to be an easy gank by any means.
Feels like maybe just some coverage here in case Grig was thinking of coming top, because Kumo is pretty far forward, but Brandini's going to hold the wave here and finish off the rest of those caster creeps. Blabber going back. His enchantment is almost complete. Actually does just go back to base and finish it, so significant chunk or increase in power there for the Talia. It's the ult from Brandini, just going to keep the wave back.
And this is the window that I was just mentioning about Kumo. He now has his ultimate or teleport available. Does Cloud9 find a way to pick a fight bottom lane and take advantage of that summoner spell? Now Blaze Olive doesn't have his, but he's mid lane, so that's not such a big deal. The early Cloud Dragon goes down, but again, it's not something that Cloud9 was in a position to fight for, even though they had that TP advantage. And if you're not ready, don't bother.
Ooh, Bubble still hits, but they actually get the ulti out. Golden Glue forced to flash and cleanse away. Does poke a Blaze Olive back. Lucky to be alive, though, after that exchange.
Lucky to have that cleanse, too, because switching that summoner spell helps a lot against Alessandra, because the earlier TP, that was a window of opportunity to go against Zoe, but now that she's sticking to the cleanse, it's going to be so much harder.
Still, Cloud9 continuing to apply pressure. TSM only up about 500 gold, plus that Cloud Drake. The lane's still getting pushed in as Golden Glue looking to try and find the play! Last auto was not there! And then Diamond gonna flash in, good ult there. Actually should be able to save Tactical. Blabber rides his way over in the tower dive. May have gone a little too far forward. Tacto still gonna get dove as Kumo dives in with a World Ender on to make sure the kill is his.
And now the Rek'Sai is down here to try to save this tower, but Cloud9 is being so aggressive, utilizing that teleport. Even though they don't use it as a dive, they use it to help the bottom lane shove and win that engage through the Taric ultimate. And Rumble is not going to punish this. He's not someone that takes turrets down too quickly. He might just get 1, maximum 2 plates. Other than that, that's a win for Cloud9.
Yep, poking it down with his drill, but it's going to take a little too long. Brandini actually just settles on the rest of the wave that's coming in instead. Kumu looks to return to the top half of the map. So Blabber finally finds a nice window, does get himself down to the bot side, and Golden Glue, who somehow hit the bubble that I missed, was A little unlucky to not get himself the kill. I don't know if he wasn't in auto attack range.
I think
after the
he
portal
was
jump.
and didn't get it.
The window's really small.
Yeah.
You gotta hit all the buttons. Just click on them as fast as you can out of portal jump.
It's true. If you're gonna you might as well just burn everything, see what happens. It actually works for more champions than you think.
Gotta keep right clicking him. Well, no kill unfortunately for him. And TSM with some time on the top half of the map. We'll get the Rift Herald there as Greg able to collect that one. Turret plate running out in 15 seconds. But a dive again happening in the bot side of the map. It's Blabber once more.
And being a ranged jungler allows you to do this, to be super annoying when it comes to sieging turrets and helping your team secure that objective. They're not able to do it quickly enough, though. The Herald has been delivered in the mid lane, and it looks like they can commit for this. No, they're going top lane instead. That's strange. Yeah. A blue buff might be a better call.
Golden Blue's going to finish off Shelly. Did have a redemption to clear out half of the wave, but couldn't quite get it all. Rift Herald, though, will go down. At least a good chunk of damage for TSM is done to the turret, and as you mentioned, they are on the top half, threatening Kumo. Going to take this blue off. A nice ward will actually spot Greg, but Keith now maybe going to get himself stunned. Nice killer instinct. As Diamond also commits his ulti. Blabber's back there again. They're going to go for the dive. They find the taunt. Tactical falls. Cloud9's persistence pays off.
They're 3v2ing this bottom lane, and nothing is happening the top side. TSM can't find an engage, so the bottom lane continues to get punished. That's the moment that they would hope that the top lane can answer and they back off, but instead they stay and they're trying to find something of an advantage, but nothing gave. Cloud9 finds a way to get 2 kills back on the board, and now they're in the gold lead.
And Blizolive also has basically no health. He's going to try and set up this play, but Golden Glue picked a cleanse up off the ground and has his one also coming off cooldown soon. So that bubble's going to miss. Greg actually just covering, maybe to make sure that his mid laner doesn't get solo killed. As we watch this one again.
So it starts off by tactical thinking, I can go in, I've got the Taric, and while the Galio ultimate does push them back, Blabber is back here. He's going to be able to hit a really nice seismic shove to get him in range for the auto attack from Galio, and that's the power of Talia. Now, I gotta tell you, that is not an easy champion to play. She's actually quite difficult to be able to execute on that seismic shove really well.
Yeah, Blabber's been pretty consistent so far. Kumo pushing up. He's gonna get aggressed on by Greg. Greg, though, not fancying too much here. Kumo just gonna shove the wave and back out of the situation. Cloud9 also got the bottom outer turret for that dive that successfully netted them a kill. So they're up about 1,800 gold, pretty close to 2K. As Blabber back down the bot side, maybe looking for that Ocean Drake that's coming up in 25 seconds, which always feels good when you have a Zoe in your team.
Absolutely. You took the words right from my mouth. That's exactly why it matters. Zoe benefits tremendously from not running out of mana when you have that Ocean Drake. So the fight's going to happen. The Rumble's TPing and that flashes in.
Done hit Blabber off his own wall. Now great equalizer there from Brandini. Diamond going to try and sacrifice himself, but the Void Rush from Griggs enough to get that first kill, and the Blazolive scoops up the second. And now Keith, where can you possibly run to? His tactical pops the bilge. Keith's just going to run out of there, but again, not very many places for him to go. The W misses. He's just going to run towards the turret and try and buy a bit more time, but Tactical will get the kill, and TSM get 3.
And it looks like TSM is giving Cloud9 another TP lesson because Brandini has the teleport up. Kumo does not. They go for the fight in the blue buff, and deja vu happens. Rumble teleports, Taric flashes in, and they get the exact same fight again. TSM is taking advantage of this teleport summoner spell disadvantage, and now they're going for the dragon, and Lissandra's on the side that she can engage if C9 commits.
No ult though. Cloud9 did also get the mid outer turret, so that's what they exchanged those 3 kills for. Still 3 kills and a Drake. TSM Academy aren't upset with the situation, but we'll need to start collecting turrets as they're still down 3-0. So Cloud9 Academy keep themselves up in the lead, but only just.
So this is the exact same thing that happened before. Taric flashes in on the Talia, and Rumble is here to follow up with a teleport. We've seen this one before. Unfortunately, Golden Glue can't finish Brandini. His cooldowns were down, and Keith is left stranded, so few people made it out. But other than that, I think that TSM is happy trading that objective because they're the ones that are a little bit behind now.
Well, actually, Keith transferred to the top side. Cloud9 Academy is trying to open the map up even more with no Drake up for a little while. Keith feels comfortable playing on the top lane, and it will give Kumo the bottom half instead. Good ward there from Grig. Diamond can't find an angle for a taunt. They'll get the control ward. They are going to keep fighting here, but I think TSM are in position to try and turn it back around. Diamond now looking for the taunt. Actually buys a lot of time. The Taric ult used maybe a bit early, but they found Blabber as the Blaze Olive is able to get that kill. Now Galio trying to fly away, but Grig on a rampage falls with a Void Assault. Now Keith over the wall. Very nice ulti. And the Drowsy lands, but that's not enough. Keith flashes only to his death as TSM Academy keep picking up steam.
That was such a good engage out of TSM, utilizing the Taric ulti to make sure that everybody would commit and continue moving forward. Bought enough time for the rest of TSM to catch up. And when Lissandra is on you and Rek'Sai finds so many knockups and starts building up those stacks.
What a stun!
Zoe, watch out!
Golden Glue tagged. No ult there from Grig though. It's actually Kumo maybe making a turnaround. Tactical low. He's going to keep fighting. World End to pop, but Kumo, he can't actually find it. Now Brandini with a great equalizer forces a flash out of Golden Glue. He doesn't burn down, but TSM Academy almost turn it around again.
Tactical and Kumo just mind game each other. Kumo thought he would flash backwards, and flashed in to try to get him, but he flashed to the side, so the final Q of Aatrox did not commit. That was some next level. That was some next level micro.
And there's Blaze Olive taking a turret in top lane in the meantime as Cloud9 Academy. It feels like they're getting frustrated with the game because they keep getting leads and then something stalls out in the mid game.
Yeah, and let's see how this one ended up going down. So they see that 3 people are there. You know that it's 3 because of the tremor sense. Lissandra's in a great position, and once Zoe commits and they know she's far, Lucian is right here, so they commit. Lots of flashes to Lissandra, to Rek'Sai. She gets the ult and push further in. And here's where Keith, I think he should have probably accepted death. He didn't have sight, so he goes back in, making a hopeful run for his life.
But instead, he uses his Summoner spell. Cloud9 still trying to make plays. Diamond there with the taunt, finds Lissandra, but a Blaze Olive ready with the ulti. No stopwatch, but not needed. Aftershock enough. Diamond even committed Ignite there, but they just weren't getting that kill.
Yeah, that's really good out of him, making sure that he doesn't use anything for that, that he uses the W at an appropriate time and doesn't get taunted long enough. That's the power of the Merc Trez when you're up against such strong crowd control in the form of Galio and Zoe.
And again, TSM, even though it does feel like Cloud9 are getting a little ahead of themselves in this play, TSM are continuing to just stay on the same page all series long. The speed at which they're playing together, which they're finding fights, which they're choosing fights, I think it's throwing Cloud9 off guard a bit as Golden Glue does get himself the blue buff steal.
It is, because what happens is you stick to the mantra of it doesn't matter if it's the wrong play as long as we're all on the same play, on the same page. And so if Cloud9's thinking this is a bad play, they shouldn't be going for this, we're going to ignore it and do our own thing, but TSM suddenly commits all their members and they're fully on board and then they get a few kills, you start scratching your head and you're thinking, wait, that was a bad play, but they all committed to it and they did it so fast that we died. Was it a bad play? And you start second guessing yourself in the middle of the game and you start playing reactively and you're now giving TSM room to dictate when the fights begin.
Well, TSM continuing to find ground here. I mean, again, they're down 2 turrets and the gold is even.
But they have been controlling the pace for now. For the last few fights, they have been coming out ahead. And I think that's what gets in players' minds at the end of the day. Just thinking, how are these fights going and what has been the issue in each one of them? How can we solve it moving forward?
And for how long 4 of Cloud9's members have been playing together, you'd expect maybe them to have the most cohesion. Certainly they carried a lot of their dominance from last year into this split as well, but TSM Academy, Grig and Blaze Olive have played together a few times. They brought 3 new people into the team, and whatever happened in the middle of the split has been carrying them all the way through playoffs. As Kumo maybe too far forward, gets knocked up, gonna have to commit World Ender soon, does use it, but another great equalizer by Brandini, who's just gonna force Cloud9 away.
They do pop that World Ender, and now Cloud9 is making a beeline topside. Pings onto the Baron. There's no vision for TSM. Are they going to commit for that? It looks like this might be a Hail Mary play. There's no TP on Aatrox. They're going to back off. It's not a good move right now. It's way too risky.
Yeah, Blabber went to his red buff, so no way without the jungler, as Golden Glue maybe trying to find a pick, but treats, dodges around that bubble very nicely. Golden Glue trying to be frustrating, but hasn't found as many angles as he might have liked. Grig again going to dodge the next bubble that's incoming. TSM is going to take the mid turret. Cloud9 don't really have any good defense, so TSM Academy will finish it off, and now they're still behind in turrets, but crawling ahead in gold.
Yeah, TSM is really strong right now, but Cloud9 has just hit some serious power spike. The Rage Blade on the Kai'Sa is going to make a big difference, and the Death Dance on the Aatrox makes him a pain to deal with. So much lifesteal, so much tankiness coming out of him. So Cloud9 has the tools to win these fights. They just have to be in the right position to do so.
Also have a look there for Golden Glue, who's recalling with about 2,400 gold. Goes back, finishes his Banshee's Veil, a great tool when they're trying to get in and aggressively poke with Portal Jump. Also, Zhonya's finished for Blabber, who's made a lot of too aggressive plays in places so far this game. So maybe he'll be rewarded for some of that tenacity now that he's able to save himself for a few seconds and give time for the rest of his squad to follow up. But a Blaze Olive, Keith invisible, but not for long enough. Galio actually in there as well, but 2 for TSM. Make it 4 as the TP is also coming in. Blabber now going to be caught out once again. Azonis, he's going to have to use it. Now the team's going to catch up, but Golden Glue can't really find anything else to follow up with.
She's just so easy to kill. She's so squishy. The Zhonya's doesn't matter when you have less than 2,000 HP. You just look like 10 little health bars, and anybody can take that.
And you said, you know, it's kind of like getting ganked by a mid laner. Well, the difference is you don't get to take cleanse from the jungle. So every time Lissandra finds you, it's such a free ulti. And with the amount of CC that TSM Academy have, just easy for them to pick off a straggler as Blabber now 4 deaths. Gonna give TSM Academy the power to start this Baron.
Rumble can burn this. He has that Leandries right now, and with a Mountain Dragon, TSM's committing.
They are gonna go for it here. Keith picked up a Zeal, but they're gonna have to play a 4v5 around the Baron. Golden Glue needs to poke the ult from Taric. Might just give him enough coverage to try and take the Baron. He's gonna go over. TSM able to grab it. Now the fight will begin as Kumo pulls the bot well down to Golden Glue, and the rest of the squad piling themselves in as Blabber off the respawn is gonna land back in. Keith gets a shot there, but it's only 1 kill. Cloud9 needed more than that.
And I love that everybody on TSM just bails out, lose 1 man. Everybody save that Baron. We're gonna need it for these next fights.
Fake flash for Golden Glue. Grig, a good catch though. Taunt gonna land, but it doesn't last long enough through the Merc Treads. A knock up there for Diamond from the Galio Justice Punch, but still actually tanky enough to live there.
Talia's a little bit too far behind. Had she not been 0-4-1, that Rek'Sai would die very quickly, but instead, he's only been a part of 1 kill, whereas Grig has 100% kill participation.
4 kills of the 9 as well as we'll watch this Baron again. Like you said, Crumbs, TSM just knew they had to commit.
Yeah, without the jungler there, this is your perfect opportunity, and Taric Ultimate is amazing for these situations. Lissandra did not get in quickly enough to get that ultimate, so she was unsure as to what was happening. Had the opportunity to potentially flash over with the rest of the team, but the Lissandra flash is such a powerful tool for engaging that, hey, if you're gonna go down, you might as well just go down in a blaze of glory and save your flash for the next one.
Blue buff over to Blaze Olive as well. Cloud9 were pushing up. They did get a turret, so still up in structures. With the gold still hanging even for now, but I believe the Baron will change that in the 2 minutes they have left on it.
Remember, you want to have the fights if you're Cloud9 with Golden Glue landing a lot of poke beforehand. You want some members to not be at full HP. You want them to be stunned. You want them to be incapacitated, but TSM is fighting so quickly that there's never a window of opportunity for poke to stick before the fight's already over. So the speed at which Cloud9 is fighting is not, rather that TSM is fighting is not benefiting Cloud9.
No, just not enough time to set up. Golden Glue actually off trying to get a side lane going. Cloud9 trying to defend this Baron as best they can. They already lost the outer turret in bot lane, but that one was going to be pretty tough to defend anyway. Blabber trying to wave through as best he can, but here comes a Blaze Olive with a 3-man root. Straight in there with a Taric ult on top as well. And they just straight tower dive it. Cloud9 still alive. They're actually going to get the knockback of Blaze Olive, maybe too far, but he took the claw out and still land the stasis. But Keith times the W perfectly to find that snipe. Now Brandini, Drowsy killed by Keith as well.
And in a rare turn of events, TSM takes a fight without the jungler being there. Grig, who was so critical every single time before, was not there in the fight. The engage happened without their jungler. He was pushing the wave, trying to make the most out of Baron, but a big overcommitment out of TSM gives C9 a way back into this game. They now get an Ocean Dragon, which is going to help them for the Elders coming up, and on top of that, it's going to help the Zoe.
They turn the Baron off as well, basically. As we'll watch this one again. Blazov thought he had it all here.
He really did, and the Tarkle, you're thinking, oh, we absolutely do. Kai'Sa's not there either, the Rek'Sai's not there, but Rek'Sai's a really big deal. I think he is more important than the Kai'Sa at this present time. So the tower does so much work, and you're not going to turn and commit for the Aatrox. He has World End.
And then again, one of Zoe's great strengths is when you're running, people just keep dying because you just land bubble after bubble.
Kumo actually got out with like 1 HP after that, so that was really nice out of him. That's that Death Dance coming in clutch.
Cloud9, signs of life still. Gold is still even. TSM Academy still behind in turrets as well.
They need to fight with Rek'Sai. It's a big deal, and well, we're gonna have to take a breather.
Yeah, tough in any sort of 4v5. But TSM, I mean, that's a decision they made. We've praised them for a lot of their quick decision making and fight taking, but certainly that last one was ill-advised from BlazeOlive.
Yeah, a bit of an overcommitment. They were just so happy to have Baron. Every single time a team has gotten Baron in the series, the game is over after 1 tower dive. So once again, they thought, we get the dive here, it's all over. They saw the prize in their eyes. They went for it, and you can't criticize them for it. If you saw the MSI World Cup right there, you'd take it. The MSI trophy.
They'll feel differently if they have to play another game, but just to let you know, we do have a pause on stage, as you all know. Keith's mic is apparently gone boom, was the official word from him, not from production. But once I get that fixed up, of course, he does need to be able to talk to his teammates, because how are you going to meme otherwise?
How can you tell them, I need help? Please peel for me.
No, it's only memes. You don't. If you should be brain linked for team fights. You don't just speak.
Yeah, well, at the peak of their game, SKT used to say that Bang and Wolf are so in sync, they don't even scrim or talk to each other when they play anymore.
They don't even scrim.
And then they started losing.
Okay, maybe that's ill-advised then. As we are going to pop our way back in. Cloud9 have found some ways to get things going. Keith, 3.5 items, including a QSS, means that he's perhaps positioned to take over this game. Talked a lot about how Kai'Sa has so much personal agency. If Keith does want to have a big carry game, this would be one to do it in.
He does. Once the Ginsu gets going, it's all
that bubble.
Here.
Those smoke treads saved Tactical's life. That was a really cute setup by Cloud9.
That's the synergy that they have. The Galio gets a stun, and you think, oh, it's just a Galio. There's nothing else to it. But bam, there's a Zoe right behind you that's got blood in her eyes.
Also, in setup for Taliyah, there's a lot of good targets for Cloud9. If they want to find picks that once they see leads into death in most cases, Creed's going to have to be super fast with the ult button.
There's another minute on that Baron until it spawns. So TSM looking for all the vision they can get, all the control around mid and top side of the map to make sure they're in a position to get the jump on Cloud9. Brandini has teleport up, can look for a flank if he chooses to go bottom lane, but fighting in the jungle against these champions is always so difficult because they're so mobile and they have so much AoE.
Well, you can see Cloud9 actually moving in to sweep out some of this vision, and face-checking Fog against the Zoe is always a recipe for disaster, so Cloud9 will be thankful to have at least vision right now of the Baron area. But TSM, of course, are resetting, so we'll buy some of those next few items and look to be as strong as possible for the upcoming team fight. Cloud9 have to be careful to spend their gold as well.
Let's take a look at the major items that are going to come into this team fight. So QSS out of Tactical, huge. Zanya in a BlazeOlive, and the Stopwatch out of Grig are going to be very important. The way that they're using these fights is really going to matter. And on the other side, Keith also has a QSS, and Galio has a Stopwatch with the Zanyas on Blabber. So these 3 actives on each side will probably help determine who wins the next fight.
Oh, bubble lands. Grig's a good target as well, but Golden Glue can't quite find the angle. Smoke treads everywhere. Zoe's going to struggle to connect with targets that far away. Golden Glue, they're continuing to hammer the bubbles in. Tarek falls asleep. Cloud9 might have picked their moment. There's the wall from Blabber. They're going to try and cut them off here. Cloud9 committing pretty heavily to this exchange.
It's It's a wall that doesn't do a whole lot, as now the map has been completely reversed, but the Rumble ulti will do a lot of burn.
Equalizer trying to do the same as Keith burns down, but the Redemption going to look to reset the fight. Blaze Olive does not take that claw. Baron, of course, exposed, and Cloud9 say, all right, you're going to try and push me, dude. We're going to make you come to us.
They know the Rumble ultimate is down. Sleepy Trouble Bubble is out, and Grig is chunked to half.
Golden Glue doing a nice job here over the wall. Diamond trying to find the taunt. Treats pops the ulti, and now TSM can turn it back around. A double stun from the Taric. Diamond getting low, but Blabber finds Brandini. Walled end to pop. It's a 1-for-1 trade as Keith zooms his way over out of the way of a Blaze Olive. Lysandra can't go back in. It's so tense. Keith has to stay alive here, but Tactical flashes in. The rest of C9 trying to maybe take a recall. Kumo wants the TP back in here, but Blabber and Golden Glue need to just buy time for that play to happen. There's the TP. Kumo in, maybe too far. Drowsy does not connect the Blaze Olive with a good flashes. Blabber misses the shove as well. Kumo with no ulti. TP's in only to die.
And that is huge for TSM. They've got Ocean Dragons that will allow them to stay here if they want to. I don't think they can go for the Baron just yet, but Brandini does have the teleport in case they want to take this fight and go for more.
Cloud9 just looks so disorganized. I feel like they made two different decisions. Keith's like, I'm not staying here, we can't fight. And Kuma's like, I'm TPing back in, we should fight.
Look at that, both mid laners and top laners are waiting in the top, are waiting in the base. The teleports have come out. They're gonna go engage. That's 2 TPs on that ward.
Diamond though finds it, there's the bubble down. It's actually 2, as you mentioned. Blabber forced into stasis. Brandini gonna get chunked down, but Blabber now just obliterated by the Lysandra ulti. Galio does find one knockup, but Cloud9 don't have much health left. Diamond maybe going to go down here, does just as much out to safety, but the Void Rush will follow. Another great ult by Brandini. Looks to try and get more kills as Golden Glue is forced to flash away.
And they're able to use those TPs to great use. Cloud9 was thinking, yes, we can still fight this. We're still strong enough. It's 3-on-3, but no. 2 TPs in one ward at the same time, plus the Home Guards boost means it's way too difficult to take that battle. And now TSM has another Baron to work with.
A well-coordinated play. The Drake will go over to Cloud9 Academy, but it's pittance compared to the Baron that TSM get.
I want to see how that went down, because that was a long battle, and we're going to just see it right now. They go in thinking, yes, we caught them, but the Lysandra and Rumble are just too tanky, clumped up together. They don't know what to do when so many members have come out of nowhere, and he just doesn't have an angle in there. There's no vision for him, by the way. So that's a brush that he can't move forward to step up in. And the Rumble ulti, while it does burn the flash out of Golden Glue, it is going to be enough to secure them the space to get that Baron.
And they went negative last time they grabbed Baron, so TSM Academy will be looking for a different outcome with this particular Baron power play. They're still up 2,500, 3,000 gold or so. Looking to get the waves in position. Cloud9 are fighting valiantly, but TSM just feel like just a bit more confidence with the way they're playing. Cloud9 still looking really scrappy.
And they're going to need to have a little bit more confidence now, because this is not a siege comp. Lucian is not going to be able to safely walk up and take down this turret when you're dealing with Zoe, Talia, and a Galio wave clearing. So they need to go for a strong tower dive that either catches C9 off guard or is just amazingly executed by them, and that's how they're going to be able to break down the base. That's why in the first Baron attempt, Grig was split pushing. He was trying to make sure that Baron affects multiple lanes, because the tower dive is going to be very difficult. If you mess it up, a good Galio taunt could ruin everything.
And you can see TSM Academy playing a lot more carefully this time around. Grig does successfully get the tier 2 turret in top lane. So now only one more tier 2 left there in mid, and TSM still looking for those inhibitors to really give themselves better control of the map, because if they can't get the supers in a position, Cloud9 actually have enough wave clear to reset and try again once the next objective rolls around. Also consider Elder Dragon coming up as the next one to spawn.
And that's what's frustrating for TSM, that there's so much wave clear on C9 and tools that prevent a tower dive from going well. If Lysandra tries to claw in the base, Talia can always eat that. Galio can always taunt that. Same with Zoe. So it's really difficult for the Lysandra to get an engage in the base when there's not many other members to follow you as a body. So it would have to be a combination of the target.
This is a really good pick if they can get up a treat with a great Cosmic Radiance. Galio tries to find his way in, but Blabber forced to burn the stopwatch. There's Keith. He's going to try and save the back end of the team fight. Shooting down Tactical. He'll get burnt, but he goes down. And TSM still fighting. Blabber wants to get the pick, but they can't kill the Lucian. Cloud9 doing what they can, but TSM have found the wraparound flank. Kumo now actually going off with the World Ender on top of Diamond, still gets picked off on the other side, and Tactical, he's still there, but he does finally die to the Zoe. Golden Glue picking it back up as a Blaze Olive needs to get it done, but he can't quite get it there. And Greg, in the meantime, there was a 4v5.
He took down one inhibitor in the top side, and now he's going for two. He doesn't care about this fight. He knows what he needs to do. Get these damn objectives. I'm giving TSM Greg the MVP. He knows what needs to be done. He's going for the objectives that win the game, not these fights.
I thought Cloud9 had found an amazing 5v5, and Greg wasn't even there.
Let's see how this started. So the wall is a thing that initiates this alongside this Sleepy Trouble bubble. So they're thinking we can jump in right away. They're trapped, but a really nice equalizer puts Cloud9 in a bit of a pickle. Keith goes in, but he's exhausted right away. That exhaust prevents so much of the damage. That would have easily taken down Tactical and would have been an amazing engage. But that exhaust, you always forget about it until it matters. And even though Lissandra does get that final return kill onto the Galio, it's not enough. He's still thinking he can get in, but the flash out of Kumo secures that kill. And Greg, in the meantime, just farming away.
He was never coming to that fight. As soon as it started, he's like, yeah, I'm pushing. As we do have another mic issue for Keith, I believe. So another pause here. And a frustrating time to have things just malfunctioning like that, because you can see somber faces across for Cloud9. They know they need to win this game.
Yeah, I think you're spot on that it is a frustrating time for that to happen. But at the same time, it is a moment to remain calm and collected and think about what went right in that fight that you just had, because you just won a fight. They have not won a fight in a while. So yes, you can say that it was a 4v5, but hey, you still found a way to do something proactive and get something out of TSM. So Cloud9 can use this time to really gather their heads, think of a new way to engage, because they don't have many inhibitors anymore. Only one remaining. And with Dragon coming up in a minute, they're gonna probably lose that objective and be stuck in their base for quite some time.
Yeah, and before when they were sieging, it didn't feel like TSM may have gotten inhibitors with the way the game was going, but Cloud9 said, we want more. They try and take the team fight, be a bit more decisive, and even though it goes well, Greg has enough time to get inhibs, and now all of a sudden the situation I described where you can just play for the next reset around the major objectives is difficult to impossible for Cloud9.
And you can look at that in two ways. Either it's a bad time to engage and you should have let TSM really work for it, or you can always say, if we executed it better, we would have been able to get exactly what we wanted out of that. So it's two sides of the same coin. I think that Cloud9 should have probably gone a little bit more passive, but hey, if you're going to go for it, and just make sure that you do it right.
I think Treat shut him down. That Taracle basically stopped the entire team fight. Those started as a 3v5.
Yeah, he's been fantastic on Tarek. It's so difficult to engage against him and really manage the time that the ultimate is up, because he's never going to pop ultimate when it's not relevant. He waits for you to be in a position where you're taking damage. So either you fall back or you skirt around it. And look at that. Does that look like the face of a Tarek man, of a Tarek main?
He is calm under pressure. That's what that face tells me. Been playing well all series long. 14 assists in this game. I believe that's wait, I can check this. 16, it is, right there on the screen. And with 1 kill, so missing out on only 1 participation this go-around as TSM Academy continue to impress. Feels like for them, they're only a few minutes away, a few plays away from lifting that trophy. For Cloud9 Academy, they're just thinking of a way out in this game.
A way back in, not a way out. How to get out by their own terms. So he doesn't have the Jinx. He is playing with a Rageblade AD carry this time around, and it's going to come down to the poke landing. That's really what is going to help them out here. If the split push is going to come out once again, they need to be able to either whittle somebody down quickly enough that they can engage and they know they're going to get a fight that has a numbers advantage, or you just wait for TSM to split push again and you engage on Grig instead, right? You give up one side to take the other and you bounce it back and forth that way.
It doesn't take much. I mean, looking across the drafts, it doesn't feel like there's a a massive element of, okay, you're getting outscaled. I mean, I think you can go across the different lanes and be like, okay, like, I can see advantages for either side here. It really just is about execution at this point.
We thought Bjergsen had the best TSM beard. Grig's beard is
he's been
majestic.
Smurfing in the offseason for the beard game.
Look at that. Wow. I'm not even close to that.
I don't think I'll ever be close to that.
To groom something so beautiful.
And to think they could have played together.
Yeah, right? Bearded duos, finally.
Unstoppable. To Grig's credit, though, he's had a great season in the Academy. For someone that, you know, I mean...
Well, he has a great series right now, right? He's had 100% kill participation for, I believe, the first 20 minutes of the match. He hasn't died. So this would already be 2 games where he hasn't died yet. That is incredibly impressive. Whereas his counterpart is 1, 6, and 6. So Grig definitely smurfing this time around.
And I think recovering from a wrist injury, I don't know if you can speak from personal experience, either with people you play with or yourself, but I have to imagine that as a pro player, a serious wrist injury just has to be the absolute worst thing, because like that's your livelihood is gone if you cannot play.
Yeah, you know, I've never hurt my wrist like that, but I can only imagine that if I can't use one hand, like why am I even on the computer? I wouldn't even bother at that point, right? Just to be so gimped, it feels bad.
And I think Grig's done a great job not only being sensible, making sure he can recover, playing where he can to make sure that he can maintain form, but it seems like he's made a recovery. I believe he's back playing effectively full-time as far as scheduling goes, and it hasn't seemed to slow him down in the back half of the season.
I mean, you use that time to watch VODs, to do everything that you can't do or that you wouldn't normally need your other hand to do. So you might as well look as many other regions up, look up to other junglers, understand the game at a deeper level, spend time with your coach, spend time with the players, and really bond and do everything that your hand prevents you from doing while it heals. So I think that he probably used that time really effectively, because I remember watching him a few years ago and it was coming up and he still was rough around the edges, but now he looks completely different.
Yeah, I mean, he was the intended starter, and I think rightly so. Acadian, to his credit, has stepped up massively on the main team, and both TSMs look strong, of course. We'll have this matchup again tomorrow, where Cloud9 plays TSM once more, not to confuse the audience.
It's beard power, man. I've met some people that truly believe that their hair is an antenna, so there's that.
Hang on, if that's true, does that mean tomorrow it's a Cloud9 favorite matchup? Because you have to think that Zeyzal outbeards even Beardson.
Ooh. You'd have to put the sum,
Where's Riv?
Sum of beards. It's not single beard,
I don't remember
sum of beards.
I don't remember what the tier list was. I do know that Zeyzal and Beardson were up very high in that one, but Riv is the regional expert on beard power here in North America. So if you'd like more information, please direct all your comments and questions
need a tier list.
to @Rivington III on Twitter.
Where's the mustache rank? I can do a good mustache.
It's not a beard, so do we include it? Like,
is that a beard?
Yes. Technically, yes.
Is it really?
You know what? Get Riv up here.
It's not full.
I didn't say it was full. You asked me if that's a bit. This is what's turning into the hot dog a sandwich argument, which I'm not getting into. But he has facial hair in the area where beards grow. That is a beard.
You have low beard standards, my friend.
I'm not saying it's like the most top tier Grig-esque beard to ever walk the planet. I'm just saying that if you want to get technical, it's a beard.
The camera just switches back and forth between the bearded ones. Well, there's not much going on in the game that we want to spoil, because we want to make sure that these guys play down to the final minutes in their own element. We don't want to distract them, so we're talking about nonsense instead.
I mean, at this point, like I said, the game itself is just about how the teams execute. And I think, I mean, it's easy to say so far in the series because they are ahead, but TSM have certainly executed better, more consistently so far throughout the series. The nice thing about League of Legends, though, is it only takes killing the Nexus a few more times if you're Cloud9 to just undo all of the pain that you've been through in this long series.
And even if you're made out of cardboard, you can still play.
He can play like a beast. You know what? Maybe we have to abandon the power of beards and get into the power of the 2D plane. Because Trees have been playing insane.
Yes, the 2-dimensional plane.
Okay, we're back into the game this time around. And again, we talk about long series being tough on players, especially for the newer guys on these squads. This is an extra long series. We've had a few pauses. We might be going to a game 5 if Cloud9 can find their way back in. But even if the series ends here, we're almost 40 minutes through this game in what has been a very long 4-game series. Well fought between the two sides.
Every game has been slightly longer than the previous one, so it definitely takes a toll when that happens, when you're thinking, okay, it just keeps going and going with each one. What's the next one going to look like? A teleport comes out of Cloud9. The Elder Dragon is up. That's the objective we were talking about. 2 teleports on TSM. They're looking to get the first jump onto this fight, and they're not going to give this up. 2 inhibitors down. Cloud9 needs to fight.
Cloud9 are just playing as fast as they can, I think, at this point. They know that waiting around for this Elder Dragon to spawn is probably not going to win them the game. So Tactical does burn his QSS. That's a really good cooldown to get. Elder Dragon also up. Going to be up now. I wonder if Cloud9 think to just rush it down. But Grig, look at this man. Now spotted on a wall, but snuck all the way around to the pit as Cloud9, they are committing for this objective.
Let's see what TSM does for the engage, because they are going to fight. The wall is out. Here we go.
That's from Blabber. Golden Glue still off to the side, trying to find poke, but Grig, he might be able to grab the steal here. He's got the GA. He'll get taunted up. The Drake is down, and Grig manages to steal it. Now TSM into the pit. We're going to try and finish it off. Galio already down, Blabber caught in stasis, he'll die as well, and that might be it. Grig with the steal starts the team fight off right as the TP into the base is going to give TSM Academy the victory over Cloud9. They wanted to defend their championship, but they will be denied.
They have played this series so well, and that final fight was no difference. Grig had an amazing series, and they are well deserving of the MSI Academy title.
2019 Academy Spring Finals champions as Tactical lifts his support into the air as TSM Academy celebrate. A tough opponent for sure in Cloud9, but overcoming them in 4 grueling games.
I don't know if I've ever seen a sight like this. He's fragile, he doesn't have hands, but he still wins. He still plays his heart out.
What are you doing? You gotta bring him over to shake hands.
He doesn't have hands.
At the present, TSM Academy members will shake hands with Cloud9. A tough loss for sure. It would have been great to win back-to-back, but we have a new champion now in Academy. TSM Academy's investment in their players, in their organization there in Academy has paid off.
And I think it's just a testament to the Academy scene. Now that we're legitimately growing talent that is playing at this level to, you know, I'm going to say it looks really good. This is way more decisive than a lot of the matches we've had in the LCS this season. So these teams are definitely at that caliber that they would be worthy of playing there, especially these players. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens to them. And Treats is one of those players because he had an amazing series.
2D or not, played exceptionally well. TSM Academy will band together and celebrate. They'll move down to lift the trophy in a short moment as Golden Glue will be denied his 2nd attempt at an Academy. He won last time, he will not win this time.
There we go.
But
Coach
still,
Peter,
well deserved. As they'll lift their trophy. Not made of paper this go around. Just to think how far this team has come. Hey! Confetti falls, the air horn sounds at TSM Academy. We got 2019 Spring Academy champions.
Oh, that's a beautiful trophy.
It is a beautiful trophy.
They need to fill it up with their favorite meals and eat out of it to commemorate their victory.
I feel like that's everyone's answer to any trophy. It's like, oh, I can put stuff in here. I have to do that, obviously.
All
Get
right.
the Dr. Pepper in there.
No.
They didn't think this through, clearly.
You turn it into jelly. You make jelly and you eat it.
The streets above the team.
He's my MVP.
I mean,
game.
I agree. I think he played incredible all series long.
How many flash Taric stuns did we see out of him? Like 7.
How many clutch Taric ults? How many clutch stretch hooks? Even in the game they lost with the Nautilus, he was still the reason they were winning some of the fights they were able to take in a horrible game.
No, he had, like, for me, that's who I'm looking out for the MVP. The support role right now really allows players to carry in ways that maybe weren't there before. Like a champion like Tom Kent, so much harder to carry. You play SW and you devour someone. That's not a hard carry. Taric is a carry.
And again, for across the whole team, TSM Academy, from the players they had to bringing on new players to revamping their roster to picking themselves up halfway through the split when things just didn't look as good for this team. Whatever has happened for TSM as an organization, they have changed so much in their academy program that by the end of the finals, they just look like the best team.
Well, remember at the start of the year, they essentially got 2 new coaches, Peter and Tony.
Well, with all that's enough from us for now. We're going to send it down to Riv for an interview with the Blaze Olive and Tactical.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am joined by the mid laner and bot lane of TSM Academy after their victory over C9, setting an absolute frantic pace on the game. You guys looked like you were having a blast the whole time. Blaze Olive, I have to ask you, all eyes were on Cloud9 coming in today. To take that victory away from you, what was the main strategy to take C9 down?
Well, we knew that... Sorry about that. No, you're good. Well, we knew that they like to play a really battling style. They always like to team fight, so we kind of thought that we could do it better. So our main strategy was just try and figure out a way in draft to get a good team fight comp that's slightly better than theirs, and then their natural way to win the game, and basically the only way to win the game, doesn't work. And I think we did a pretty good job.
Absolutely, a victory in your pocket now. Tactical, I have to ask you, you had to employ a bit of a different strategy today as well. A bit of duo queue in the bot lane as Treats wasn't here. What was it like playing the last few series like that?
It's definitely weird. I always played with him by my side before, but since he's not here, it's a bit sad he's not here. But he's still working. He's still playing fine, just from Canada. I think it's perfectly fine that he's playing from Canada. No difference in the gameplay at all either.
You guys seem to get the victory quite easily. For you, again, you've started in 2016. Your professional career has now brought you to the finals stage. How has that journey been for you to kind of achieve so much so quick?
It definitely feels good. I think it's a cool thing that I'm able to make it to finals really fast. And I think it's a really cool experience that I can make it to finals and win, especially.
Absolutely. So much more in the future. Blaze Olive as well for you. Kind of the same question, but looking forward. You've been on TSM Academy for a while, coming up this year for the finals. What's in the future for you? Kind of what's in mind? Is there more?
Well, obviously, you know, playing in the LCS is always going to be the #1 from after playing in Academy. I think we did a really good job this split, and I think I showed my potential. I don't have any sort of set in stone plans. This is basically to the point that I got to, so I'll have to figure it out from here.
Awesome. Congratulations to both of you again on the win, and best of luck going into next split as defending champions. We're going to now throw it to the analyst desk or the casters to break it down a bit more for another interview.
Thank you very much, Riv. Our Academy MSI champions, our TSM, in a 3-1 victory over Cloud9. You heard it from the players there. They haven't thought too much further than winning Academy MSI, but you can't blame them.
That's what you want to hear as a coach. Like, they were so invested in the series, they couldn't be thinking about anything else. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And they did it again in 3-1 fashion. We heard from them a little bit about what their game plan coming in was, that they did think this was going to come down to team fighting. So crafting good compositions that gave them the edge in the team fighting phase was what was going to be key, and I think it played out well for them.
Yeah, it seemed good. It feels like the teams, like early on in the series, all the teams, or both, whatever team was picking the early game comp was kind of losing because they weren't able to execute their strategy well enough, and the team that had the better like team fighting late game comp was winning. And it seemed like what Blaze Olive said there is that their team kind of recognized that first, and I think that's a big reason why they won the game.
That plus staying on red side felt really important, so you can see the enemy team's picked, and then not counterpick to smash lane, but counterpick to do well in lane, and then, like you said, outscale for team fighting.
Also cool just to, you know, again, to recognize the fact that Treats playing from Canada, there's that bit of disjointedness maybe, but was very much still playing like, you know, like a god.
He was the star of the show. I mean, like, if he was here in person, would anyone have cared as much? But because he's in Canada and there's the cardboard cutout, suddenly he's probably the most
couldn't get that guy to stop smiling.
Yeah,
couldn't
get
him
so happy.
Literally, no matter what happens, he just was sitting there with a smile on his face.
Maybe that helps. Maybe that helps guard against any kind of tilt. You know, the other four of you are like freaking out. You look over to the left and there's Treats just smiling away as ever. Anyway, let's break down how they came away with that victory in the 4th and final game before we talk about things holistically for Academy and this TSM squad. I'm going to jump right into some of the, you know, later game team fights where things started breaking down. Baron Pit fight here, or Red Buff fight. This one in favor of TSM.
And it really indicates how well they're all playing together. All at the same time, Grig goes over, Blaze Olive goes over, and the Terror Call starts coming through, so there's no chance for C9 to really answer back before Blabber's dead, who had a very tough game and a little bit of a tough series. But they quickly win this fight. They kill the enemy jungler, and they continue to chase through. Their synergy was on point. It had been on point, and like you could hear them saying, taking good team fighting champions. That Taric pick was critical, and the fact that they had the Taric Sona lane that they busted out before, now here it is in the normal setup, but you get to see how strong that champ is. If the game's going to be decided by team fighting, turn your whole team invulnerable.
Yeah, this game kind of just felt like the Grig and Treach show for the most part. Both of them just played really well, and like even both of them played well all 4 games, I believe.
Yeah, I think it really highlights in a lot of ways what it means as a team to be on the same page.
Yeah.
Right. As you mentioned, all of those important abilities being activated at exactly the same time. The engagement is coming in along with that Terrical, along with the Lissandra committing to it as well. And if any of those things don't come in at the right time, maybe that's the wrong play to make. And so often when you're looking at the younger squads, the amateur squads, or the up-and-comers, that's the piece they're missing, right? Yeah. The cohesion or the way that they work together. We got to jump from here to the game-winning moment. Grig coming up huge with a Baron, or not Baron, an Elder Drake steal. That DeMonte sits here and at this moment is going, you can't 50-50 this. You cannot 50-50 this against Grig. He never misses a 50-50. And guess what?
He lands it.
It looked like he was scared for a second.
We were all scared. And then boom, it comes in. The smite steal, the secure on the Elder. They may not have even needed it to win the game, but it's just the cherry on top to a game-winning fight, and then a close.
That must be just like the most iconic way to win finals in a best of 5 like that, especially with Grig specifically, because he played so many LCS games where he just smite steals. Like everyone on Reddit is just saying like, oh my God, this guy doesn't miss Barons.
Yeah.
Like, and then he's in his last game of a best of 5 Academy finals, and then he does the exact same thing.
That's a legacy I wouldn't mind having. I'd still be riding high from that Baron steal if I were Grig, but let's find out. To get the player perspective, we're going to throw it back to Riv, who's standing by with TSM's jungler.
We're both riding high back here, Dash. I am here with Greg after their victory over Cloud9. And Greg, I want to take a moment to kind of look back at the split for you, and intended for the starting roster on the LCS team to come through, and then a few wrist issues. What has it been this year to kind of regroup, figure out what you're going to do, and bring your play style to this immaculate play that we've seen here in these series?
Yeah, I mean, this year definitely didn't start how I expected it to, but I just worked through it, you know, just tried to heal through it, and then just improve my play, because I had some issues coming back because I wasn't able to play a lot. Now that I'm able to play a lot more, I feel like a lot more confident, a lot better about my play, and you know, wherever I'm playing, I just want to win. So, Academy Finals, you know, it's fine. It's not LCS, but I'll still get the win. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I gotta say, besides having a sick beard and being able to have so much huge IQ on the Rift, stealing these Elders, getting great plays for the team off of the fights and inhibitor takes, what has grown for you and the team? Last year, TSM Academy didn't see great results. This year, you guys have run rampant across the Academy League. What were those changes for you? Final question.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the Academy team the spring split. It wasn't on the summer, but the roster, you know, changed a lot, obviously. And I think players who were already on the roster, like Nick, I think he's the only one, Blazov, he's very good now, so he got better. Coaching staff switched up with Peter, and I think just a bunch of changes contributed to the improvement.
Awesome, Greg. Thank you so much for taking some time. Congratulations, and head to the team with the go and celebrate. We're going to send it back to the analyst desk to break down the game.
Thank you very much, Riv. What a year for Grig so far, as was mentioned. The adversity of being pulled from the starting roster for the squad due to wrist issues, health issues, and then to make this kind of return. Clearly, he has aspirations for greater still. You can see already the gears turning for, you know, how do I get myself back into an LCS position and challenging maybe for one of those titles. But Grig did play incredibly well today and earned himself that player of the series. So this is an accolade that should not be ignored.
Yeah, pivotal in every single game that they won. He was able to counteract a lot of Blabber's early aggression, get these counter ganks in, always in the right place at the right time to punish you know, what is kind of seen as the playmaker for the enemy team, and then he almost felt like 100% kill participation every time that they won.
Pretty much.
Huge series by him.
Yeah, it just seemed like he just had control of every single game. Maybe I would say game 2 it was a little bit of a blunder, but even game 1 when it felt like the odds were stacked against him, he was still able to keep his composure and come back in the game.
The catalyst for sure for getting back into it in that first game of the day. We do have to give an honorable mention to Treats. While we joke about the fact that he's a cardboard cutout sitting on stage, the man played phenomenally, and in particular, that 4th game, I don't think his Taric play can be ignored.
No, super, super good. His Thresh was on point all series long. His Nautilus, they didn't win that game, but if you go back and watch a lot of those skirmishes, he after the team fell super far behind, he almost dragged them back into the game. It was just a little too tough to do, but he was super good all series long.
And so from here, I want to take a step back and talk about Academy League, or the Academy League as a whole. Obviously, Cloud9, they came in as clear favorites from Academy Worlds into the beginning of this split, and they did run rampant throughout the Academy League, favorites all the way up until this point today. But for TSM, you know, watching them maybe take the lessons or take the lead from Cloud9 and say, hey, what they're doing is working in some fashion. Let's start employing that. I think we're starting to see the beginnings, as Crumbs mentioned, of a really cool system of growing talent within the North American region.
Yeah, I mean, this is good for literally everyone in the org. I think every single LCS team should watch these games and be like, wow, we all need to make our Academy teams good, because this is important for not just Academy, but for our main team as well. And if you have a good Academy team that can really challenge the main team as well, this is going to make every single player have more of a drive to like keep their job as well. You're not going to have players that are on the main team and they're kind of just relaxing, you know, just not pressured at all. And yeah, I mean, you can see like a series like this for someone like a Blaze Olive, like this is huge.
Mark, we can argue correlation, causation, but I'm just going to point out.
I know.
You know what I'm going to point out. TL, C9, TSM. Top three LCS teams, regular split. TL, C9, TSM, Academy. All in the top 4 for semifinals here in Academy playoffs. You know, again, I'm not saying that if you make it that far in Academy, you're making it that far in the LCS, but we're starting to see some trends.
I mean, obviously, like you said, chicken and the egg. Is it the organizations who are doing a great job putting multiple rosters together, or are they using the rosters they put together to make huge gains? And I'm sure it's both.
Yes.
You know, it's no surprise, but they do a great job. You talk about how they integrate C9 swapping their players actually into the LCS, TSM scrimming with their players, TLA players being in the area a lot of the time, and they have that great training wear facility, and you know, making sure that the Academy players are getting some of the resources that the main team is getting, and kind of bouncing off each other. I think it's pretty clearly the future of the LCS and the Academy League and how those two intertwine.
Just makes me more excited for summer. It also makes me more excited for the fact that we have Cloud9 and TSM squaring off tomorrow.
Oh, baby.
What more a perfect way to cap an Academy MSI final than to get to see the two, you know, parent, older brother organizations go at it the very next day.
There's a couple like things in here that I'm really interested in, just about like how team fighting was important, how red side was important, like all those things. Do those get carried over instantly to tomorrow? Like, is TSM and C9 going to fight over red side? Because it seemed good.
Yeah, I mean, Demonte, give me your take on this, because quite obviously, you know, the top tier LCS teams and the top tier Academy teams are not on the same level. So what do you think might be applicable from this series over to the top end of LCS, and what might not be?
I mean, a lot of what you saw in this series today is for sure going to come out tomorrow, because as you get later and longer into the postseason, less teams start scrimming because people are getting eliminated from LCS or Academy and stuff like that. And also the best Academy teams, there's a gap between them and the LCS teams, but the gap isn't big enough to where they can't scrim each other. So honestly, watching this series and then going into tomorrow and Sunday's match as well, I'm totally expecting for like the drafts to be similar.
Now, we're not going to have you on the desk tomorrow, so I'm going to hit you up for it right here. Do you have a prediction for tomorrow's semifinal? C9 TSM? Who takes it?
I'm going to steal the homework.
Yeah, it's just
tomorrow,
like this, I'm writing it down and bringing it tomorrow to the desk.
I say the same thing.
Sorry to put you on the spot. I didn't tell you I was going to do this.
I'm not going to be boring and say 3-2 for a team.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
I'm going to say 3-1 C9.
3-1 C9. Mark, I'll get your prediction tomorrow, but you already have a pretty perplexed look on your face.
Well, I'm not perplexed. It's one of those like, come on, man. Like, I already sent my prediction to our producer for tomorrow.
But it's the exact same prediction, and now you're going to look like a dummy.
Yeah, now it looks like I actually am copying his homework.
I love it. Not. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Now you're just saying that to like cover it.
I can show you my message. It says yesterday at like 9 p.m. I sent it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, Demonte, thank you so much for joining us here on the Academy MSI Finals. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, I had a blast. Honestly, it was great. Everything, especially with you, but with Mark,
especially with me.
With Mark, a little bit less.
He was facing that way a lot more often.
Exactly. Yeah, you see that? You pick up on those. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here.